There. Just on 2024 alone, the government allocated close to about 40.5 billion pesos. That represents about 5.3% of the total DepEd budget. So this is a significant chunk of the total budget of DepEd. So today we'll be tackling this resolution focusing on e-gaspe. And GASPE is one of the biggest programs of the Department of Education. Just to show you a slide, just on 2024 alone, the government allocated, wait, hold on, there. Just on 2024 alone, the government allocated close to about 40.5 billion pesos. That represents about 5.3% of the total DepEd budget. So this is a significant chunk of the total budget of DepEd. But if you look at the past 10 years, the allocation for GASPE has grown. In 2016, the allocation is about 21.2 billion. It hovered around 20 billion for the last 8 years. Then it shot up to about 53 billion in 2023. In 2024, it remained at 40 billion. So it's a significant chunk of DepEd's budget. And the direction of GASPE is to operationalize and to improve complementarity between the private and public education. But throughout the implementation of GASPE, this representation read in some news reports that there are a lot of controversies as well as issues surrounding the implementation of GASPEs. In some of the news articles, they were pinpointing that it didn't benefit poor students. There are also ghost beneficiaries that hounded the implementation of GASPE. And in a 2018 report, go to the next slide, by COA, it also specified in very great detail some of the issues, problems, and even gathered through investigation and through audits in the implementation of GASPE. And we'd like to give credit to COA because in our review, we reviewed all the documents surrounding GASPE. Document is the first and only performance review of GASPE after it was implemented, I think almost 20 years, no? If I'm not mistaken, for a very long time, no? For a very long time. So this is the only document that was produced to evaluate the implementation of GASPE. And I'd like to commend COA for spearheading this performance review. So today we would like to hear from the Department of Education some updates on the implementation of GASPE. We have to talk about the issues surrounding GASPE, whether it's from the news reports and also from the COA report, and also how the Department of Education is addressing those issues, especially from the COA report. The COA report is very extensive. I read the COA report, and it also made some recommendations. And that, again, give credit to COA because it's not only a performance review, but they also specified in great detail recommendations on how to move forward. So we want to understand also from DepEd on how they implemented those recommendations. And also, we also want to understand from DepEd if there are proposed amendatory legislation. Personally, I also saw some gaps in the law, and this representation is also thinking of filing some amendatory legislation to improve and to make the implementation GASPE as clear as possible, and also put a sense to the direction on where we want GASPE to go forward. So we'll start off with an update and a presentation from the Department of Education. And like I said, COA is the only agency that produced a performance evaluation. So we want to hear from them some pointers or some of the issues that they came across during their performance evaluation. And we'll also call on our other resource persons who are related to the implementation of gaspe. So we'll start off with Deped. But before that, I would like to hear an opening statement, if there are any opening statements from our colleague, Senator Raffo.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Senator Wingate, thank you so much for the resolution that you filed, resolution number 925. Ito po ay nagko-coincide doon sa information and complaints that I received Friday, wherein several parents and students pumunta po sa akin para ireklamo yung hindi pagbayad ng Deped ng subsidy dun sa mga estudyante sa senior high na gusto pong mag-enroll sana sa state colleges pero naharang po yung subsidy nila. Kaya hindi po ayaw i-release ng mga eskwelahan yung kanilang grade 11 card, which is a requirement to be enrolled in the state college. And I called the attention of Deped, and of course to the credit of Deped, papasalamatan ko po yung kausap ko noon sa Deped na si Attorney Tara. I think it was you that I talked to, and thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I've heard na na-action na yung problema nila, maka-enroll na yung mga estudyante. Okay, thank you. But the issue here is, sana, Mr. Chair, maimbitahan din natin itong mga eskwelahan na sangkot allegedly sa mga anomalya ng mga ghost students. And I think it's being investigated by Deped right now, particularly this school na St. Michael Archangel Technological Institute Incorporated. Am I right, Attorney Rama? And it's good management of this school. Kasi there are 900 students na subsidized by Deped under this gaspe budget. And yet, most of these students that are still receiving budget or receiving subsidy are no longer in the list or graduate na or dapat hindi tumatanggap. I think that is being investigated by Deped. And later siguro, you need to tell us ano na nangyari dun sa ginagawa niyong investigation. And also, bakit palaging delayed ang pagbabayad niyo sa mga subsidy ng mga estudyante? And that's part of the complaint we receive from different students who are beneficiaries of GASPE. Mabagal daw ang pag-release ng kanilang subsidy sa mga schools. And I have a lot more questions later, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. So, just to reiterate to Deped, in the resolution as well as through the manifestation of Senator Tulfo, we want to talk about and discuss the issues surrounding the ghost beneficiaries or ghost students. And then number two, we also want to discuss the performance evaluation of COA and also moving forward their recommendations. And then number three, the issue of delayed release of subsidy to schools and also to students. So we'll tackle that today after the presentation of Deped. So to start off, let's start off with an overview on the implementation of GASPE, considering that 40 billion has been allocated only for this year. Last year was 53 billion. So we'll start off with the some updates from Deped, and then we'll go to discuss those three items that were raised by Senator Tulfo. So we call on Attorney Tara.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, and good morning also, Senator Raffy. We thank the Senate Committee on Basic Education for having this public hearing, and we also thank, of course, our partners from the Commission on Audit for the performance report. Just a quick update po, Senator, Mr. Chair. Based on the COA audit performance report, it was suggested by the COA that a dedicated office in the central office of the Department of Education should be created to administer and to monitor the implementation of the program. Please be informed that before the administration of VP Sara, it was only like a unit that processes the bills only, Mr. Chair. So wala po doon yung monitoring, wala din po doon yung implementation ng program. So it was really just the billing. And I'm happy to report po as with that COA recommendation, the Government Assistance and Subsidies Office was created last year. So for this year po, Senator, ang atin pong talagang natutukan na billings na binigay sa atin ng mga private school is the one in school year 2023-2024. And to address, pahapyaw lang po ng address no, ng ating question ni Senator Tulfo about the delayed in the release of the subsidies, it's actually because we provided another layer po of verification in the central office. What is this verification? This verification po is when we receive the billings of the private schools, we actually do a run or binabangga po natin yung billing statements nila na ito po yung learners nila na binibill na nasa private school between our learner information system and the LIS po, no? So ang LIS po natin, dun po natin nalalaman kung sino po talaga ang mga current enrolled sa kanilang school. So that also caused that delay because this is the first time that we're doing it in the central office. So I think na-delay po tayo ng around more 2 to 3 weeks po for that verification, Senator. So yun po, ang isa po yun. Number 2, I think our partner also in the Private Education Assistance Committee can also shed light on the delay because I know for their end, meron din po silang hinohold na mga billings due to documentary requirements na hindi po na-submit ng mga schools. So those are the only times that we have delayed in the billing, Mr. Chair. So yun po. What other things? I think yun lang po as a quick, and then we can also. Okay, for the budget utilization of our current fund po, Mr. Chair, we're already at 97% po ng ating utilization because some of the schools na lang po, ito lang po yung hinihintay natin, billings from the regional office and then of course in our partner in PAYAC na hinihintay pa po natin yung billings nila na ma-receive natin sa central office so that we can verify again and then pay them. So again po, as of now, nasa 97% na po yung utilization natin sa budget. Okay. For the teachers subsidy po, Senator, Mr. Chair, we are starting to receive the billings of the schools this February po. So ongoing pa din po yung processing natin dyan. So yun po, Mr. Chair, Ms. Senator.
We'll start off with the delay. No? What is the offshoot of the delay? For example, when you say delay, it's the schools that are being paid, di ba? Okay.
That's right, Mr. Chair. The
So-
schools are being paid directly to their bank accounts po yun.
Okay. And if
Mr.
if there are delays, who will bear the brunt of those delays? Will the students still be allowed to go to school?
Yes, Mr. Senator, Mr. Chair, sorry. It's the school actually, they're nagrereklamo po sila kasi parang sinasabi po nila wala na po silang ipapasweldo ng teachers, but it's not the ano po talaga the learners. So yun po yung makakapag-attend pa naman po sila ng school and there's no any disturbances po when it comes to the classes when the schools are not able to bill or to be paid.
And then how long is the delay? You mentioned earlier 2 to 3 weeks.
On top
it-
of the current po natin na processing time po yun, Senator Wen. So, example, when we received the billings last October, kasi doon po yung nag-start po na na-receive ng central office yung billings nila, we were able to pay them mga nasa second week of November po, Senator.
But are there delays that go beyond a school year? I
There
can
are
hear
delays.
some murmurs here from our private school saying no, so that's good actually. No, but just to put on record, are there delays that go beyond one
Sige.
school year?
If
I know sa
the
voucher program,
Oo. For those schools and billings na
We're
wala
talking about ESC here, diba?
Yeah.
No?
kahit po sa SHSBP naman po, Senator,
I
so
think
long
prior
as
years may mga delay because of the school cut-off.
school
I think
cut off, correct.
that has been rectified.
That's already
years
been
back.
rectified,
Yeah.
Senator. We did is hindi na po kami nag two tranches. We do the payment in one tranche.
Okay.
So one-time payment na po tayo. So that's one of
So may
the
mga nadidelay ba that go beyond
may madidelay.
1 year, 1 school year?
Ako for me, Senator, hindi po madidelay ang isang billing ng isang school pag kompleto po yung requirements nila, no questions about their documentary requirements and no questions as well with the learners that they bill us with.
Yeah, assuming they bill you, everything's complete. Does government pay them 2 to 3 weeks after, or does it go beyond? Meron bang instances that go beyond 1 year?
Not beyond 1 year.
So walang 1 year.
Wala pong
No,
1
because
year.
my point there is, the student, will they be penalized if government will not pay the school on time? Pwede ba silang to finish their school, to get the test, to get the diploma, even though government is delayed in their payment? That's my point.
Okay, sige po. With that question of yours, Senator, there's just one case that we have. That's the one that being raised by Senator Tulfo, because the fact of the case is that there are learners who were already starting their grade 11 education in SMATI. So doon po sila nag-start, and then there was a resolution from the Department of Education through the regional office po that there have been violations na na-commit ng isang school, but these are not voucher related po na violations, no? But however, the penalty there is that the SMATI or that school, St. Michael, is no longer allowed to receive any financial assistance or programs of the department. So that's why po, sir, in that case, the Department of Education through the regional office helped in transferring all other students po no sa other participating voucher ng mga schools. So ito lang po yung instance na delay po, Senator, because we had to counter check nga po yung mga na bill na ni SMATI. Actually, they were already billed, but hindi lang po namin nabayaran dahil nga po meron pong lumabas na desisyon. So this took time lang talaga, Mr. Chair, to validate the list.